If you've got big dreams for 2026, maybe a new home, job, even partner, our next guest says you have the power to make that happen.
Yes, Roxie Nafousi is a leading manifestation expert and she's here today to help you unlock your full potential. Good morning.
Good morning, so nice to see you.
So I feel like manifestation, the term is kind of thrown around. What is it exactly? Define it for us, for anybody who doesn't know.
Okay, so manifesting is using the power of your mind to change and create the reality that you're experiencing. And when we hear the term manifesting, we can often think it's this fluffy thing, that it's just about visualizing what you want and then waiting for it to happen. And so it can get a bit of a bad rep. And I feel like I'm sort of the PR of manifesting, trying to do damage control to say it's not about that. Really, this is rooted in science, spirituality, wisdom, psychology, and it absolutely works.
And you say it starts with sort of a change of mindset and having self-love.
Yeah, so at the core of manifestation is actually self-worth, because we can only attract into our lives what we believe we are worthy of receiving. So if you feel you are not worthy of love, not worthy of success, not worthy of happiness, then how are you ever going to create a life for you that has those things in it?
So, Roxie, you say it's easy, you say it really makes a difference. How do we start
do
doing it? How do we do it?
All right, I love this. So we are going to break this down into 3 steps. Okay, the first thing to do is to reflect, because I don't think we can really move forward and create change in our lives and do things differently if we haven't really taken a moment to understand what worked in 2025, what didn't work, what were your challenges, what did you learn from them? Even thinking about things like who in your life made you feel supported, who was draining your energy. Think of it like a life audit. And so taking time, perhaps it's half an hour this evening, to really reflect on what last year did for you, what it taught you, and what it showed you that you maybe want to leave behind and what you want more of for the next year.
OK, so we go home and we reflect, and you say you only need to take half an hour or so, whatever time you can just put to it. What do we do then after we've done that?
OK, so when we think about manifestation, often what people think about is, OK, what can I have? You know, what can I attract into my life? But I think there's a much more important question that you need to ask yourself, which isn't what can I have, but who do I want to become? This really is a self-development practice. And so I really want people to think about, who do you want to become this year? So you can think about things like, how do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? You know, a lot of people, they wake up exhausted. They wake up feeling like, oh gosh, another day. Okay, well, in your mind, I want you to think, at the end of this year, I want to wake up with energy, with excitement, with vitality. You can think about how you feel when you walk into a room, you know, with confidence, not worrying what everyone's going to think of you, not panicking, not with those nerves. You might think about how you want to show up at work, show up in your relationships. And so you can start to paint this picture of, who do I want to become? And then consider, what are the small actions I can take day to day through my routines, my habits, that are actually going to help me show up as that person.
And then, so how do you achieve your goals?
Well, once you've figured out who you want to be, you just figure out what your goals are.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people don't actually take the time to stop and think, OK, in 1 year, in 5 years, what do I actually want from my life? And if we're not stopping to do that, we're just allowing our life to kind of run on autopilot, and we're just having the same year over and over again. Essentially, you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where it is you're headed, right? So it's like putting in a destination in your navigation system. And so really think about, what do I want my life to look like? And that's when you can create a vision board.
Yes. Now, you've been on and we've talked vision boards before. Just explain what you mean by a vision board.
OK, so a vision board is sort of a big sheet of cards.
It's your little boy.
It's your little boy's vision
Yes,
board.
he did his first vision board last year, and God bless him, he ticked it all off. Maybe just because he's got a mum that can't say no. And I did one with my nieces and nephews this year. It's a great thing to do.
So it's not just for adults, right?
Absolutely. It's such a great practice to get your children involved in, because it's really helping them to think about how powerful they are and how much agency they actually do have in their own lives. So what you want to do is you want to get a big piece of card, and I always suggest splitting it into categories. You might have your career, travel and experiences, personal development, and relationships. And within each category, bullet point all the things that you want to achieve in that year, and you want to be as specific as possible, and you want to ask yourself this key question: if fear and doubt weren't standing in my way, what would I really want to achieve?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it? Because so often it's the fear, I think, that stops you from striving for something.
Absolutely. You know, step 2 of my 7-step guide to manifesting, which is in my book Manifest, is remove fear and doubt. And it's the most important step. It's about really understanding that we do have blocks in our minds that tell us we're not enough, you know, that stop us from taking risks, stop us from even visualizing or dreaming about what we want. But you can undo that. You can change that and start to form beliefs that won't hold you back, but will push you forward.
And all of these things are what you talk about on your podcast, right,
yes.
Roxie?
Yes, my new podcast, well, it's a year old now. We just launched season 3. We have lots of solo episodes, bonus episodes where I talk about manifestation, self-development, and I interview the most incredible guests. You know, a podcast is something that changed my life, and it can change your life. You can listen to one thing that someone says, and we just had an episode with Sahil Bloom last week. He talked about the 5 types of wealth, completely changed the way I looked at happiness and success. There's so many great conversations, so go back through the archives, follow the show, we'll be so grateful, and I really promise you will hear something that will impact your 2026.
Amazing. That's what we want to hear. Roxie, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.